All right, on the Zimbabwe matter, on the issue, in fact, of a video that went viral depicting the health MEC in Limpopo, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba, sparked a storm across the two nations. Let's now weigh in on this and discuss this further. We're now joined via Zoom by Charles Mutama. He's the Patriotic Zimbabwe's party president. So thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Firstly, let's get your reaction as the Patriotic Zimbabwe's party to the now viral video I'm sure you've seen, depicting the utterances made by the MEC for Health in Limpopo.
Thank you very much, Unati, and thank you, SABC, for this opportunity that you have afforded me to weigh in on this Dr. Phophi Ramathuba's saga involving a Zimbabwean patient, allegedly. As Patriotic Zimbabwean's party, we view this issue as an opportunity to interrogate a number of issues that are afflicting our two nations. At a broader level, as Patriotic Zimbabwean's party, we view this saga as a platform for us to look into the issue of the unresolved colonial boundaries of the 1884 Berlin Conference. That's number one. Number two, we need to look at the problems that afflict our two nations as former colonies of the Dutch and the British, respectively. Therefore, we need to look into the issue of reparations for these two nations from their former colonial masters, so that we can equalize economic opportunities that our people have in both countries. So we are looking at the Beers company, we are looking at the British South Africa company that were complicit in the underdevelopment of our two nations. So furthermore, we are also looking at the issue of the underdevelopment of Africa in the context of how debt, which was imposed on our nations, particularly by the IMF, the World Bank, and of course by the Chinese, is continued to wreak havoc in our two economies. So we are looking at external factors that affect our two nations, the encroaching Chinese hegemony in our two countries that speak volumes to the issue of underdevelopment in our two nations. Then we also look at the issue of Black consciousness and Pan-Africanism. This issue exposes the near death of Pan-Africanism in our continent in particular, and the African diaspora. So we need to interrogate these issues using our luminaries who showed us how we can move forward in terms of developing our nations and advancing our civilizations. When I mention these luminaries, I am referring to Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Steve Bantu Biko, Chris Hani, and so on. So this matter, I'm not going to lecture South Africans because I respect and I have pride in our fellow brothers and sisters in South Africa, and I respect their intellect. So it is up to South Africans to interrogate this issue internally, so that they can come up with a way forward. However, I can speak to Zimbabwean issues that have led to this poor woman whom we witnessed in that video, which is very unfortunate. That woman in the video, who is allegedly an immigrant from Zimbabwe, is a victim of the issues that I've mentioned earlier on related to Africa's underdevelopment, number one. Number two, that issue of that poor woman, my fellow countrymen, my heart goes to you, is also related to how we are self-governing ourselves as African nations. So in Zimbabwe, there is a need and a clear need for all stakeholders to come together and behind closed doors solve our challenges amicably. And these challenges are related to corruption, are related to state capture, are related to lack of accountability.
Mr. Mutama, can I just interject there? Let me come in there, Mr. Mutama, just briefly. You mentioned a laundry list of things that could be done in as far as South Africa is concerned. A lot of your citizens from Zimbabwe, of course, including South Africans, have condemned the utterances made by the MEC of Health. But, of course, the Zimbabweans particularly are also calling for honest engagements and honest discussions about what is transpiring in Zimbabwe in as far as healthcare is concerned. And also, of course, other things that matter for the people of Zimbabwe. I know and I note that your party is currently based in the US. Surely there needs to be some form of parties stepping up, some form of, particularly in the form of yourselves, being in the country and solving those problems. What's the likelihood of those conversations that have been happening for decades speeding up and addressing some of the issues at hand at the moment?
Oh, thank you for that excellent question. There is a need for a paradigm shift in how we handle our internal political affairs. There is a need for dialogue in Zimbabwe. There is a need for consensus amongst all stakeholders in Zimbabwe, political parties, civic societies, churches, and interest groups. So that is the way forward that Patriotic Zimbabweans Party see as the only way forward, the need to end toxic politics in Zimbabwe.
All right, Mr. Mutama, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And I see we might have lost his video link there. That is Mr. Charles Mutama. He's coming to us live there from the US, Patriotic Zimbabweans Party president.